The drinking spree that I remember most recent one, we drank for 5 days. Heavy drinking, no going home. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. That that was the period I got into fully into Mshwari. Yeah. And I took, I think, a loan of 12,000,
Alone.
which was all spent in alcohol. Yeah. Nakula nyama na pombe, nyama na pombe, nyama na pombe. You don't go home.
Yeah.
I remember now when the money was depleted, I remember asking my friend, when is today? Yeah, you have lost even count of days. You don't know how long you have been drunk since 5 days.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is not.
it's a long period.
Hello, my good people. Thank you so much for tuning in to Kenya Young Journalists. We are so glad and happy to have you in this channel. We are here because of you. Thank you so much for the likes, for the comments, and for sharing our stories. We are so glad, we are so happy. God bless you so much. So today I've got a special one for you. With me is Evans, who is a public speaking coach, and at the same time he runs multiple companies. His story is so interesting because he has battled with alcohol for more than 3 years, but guess what? He has managed to do away with it, and right now he is making a lot of change in the business industry. So come along with me, watch to the end, and if you have not subscribed, kindly do so and you will not miss any of our incoming amazing stories. Thank you so much. My name is Lynn Nyawira. So Evans, welcome so much. We are glad to have you in this channel, and you can tell us briefly about yourself.
Pleasure, Eileen. I'm happy to be here. My name is Evanson Mushai. I am a public speaking coach and a speaker, and I'm also an entrepreneur. It's my pleasure today to be here to share my story, and I pray that it will be of inspiration to you and will draw something of value, and it will be value for your time. Thank you.
Karibu sana. Yeah, so tell us now. Yeah, where were you born? Tell us about your background.
Yes, I was born in Nairobi.
Yes.
Born Tao. Yeah, born and raised in Nairobi.
Okay.
Yeah, though my father and my mother both come from Limuru town, so it's not far from Nairobi, basically.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, so that was in 1996.
Okay.
Yes. And I grew up under my parents, though as I got a bit older, as I approached my teenage years,
Yes.
my family started getting hurdles, whereby due to my dad's alcoholism, it came to a point where the heads were separate. So part of my growing, I grew up with a single mom.
With a single mama?
Yes.
So there are several challenges you encountered when you are growing up? Huh?
Yes.
Were you the only one, or how many are you?
I'm a firstborn of 5.
Okay.
Yes, so apparently my younger sister is 10 years younger than me. So part of me, I grew up as a single child.
Okay.
Yeah. But so as I was saying, that period became very challenging because I had to shift schools from a private school to a public school. The transition was something else.
Okay.
I was feeling disoriented. I was used to a class with 15 students. I'm in a class with 70 students.
Okay.
Used to attention from a teacher. Then you are in a place where the teacher doesn't notice even if you're present or absent. During that transition, I remember in class 7, I used to travel with a train from home to school.
Okay.
Yeah, and due to that disorientation and I don't know if to call it stress. Yeah. Once the train will get to the place where I'm supposed to alight, I wouldn't alight.
Okay.
Yeah, so I will take the train from home to town. When I get to town, I'll just loiter in the streets. Yeah, I don't know. I was a very interesting character. Yeah, so
Okay.
I will loiter the streets. I had this courage because I would approach people. At one particular day, I remember I approached a certain lady. I told her we had come for shopping with my parents, and we somehow got lost. Yeah, got separated, and I don't know. I don't have a means to school to go back home. Of which all this is a lie. Yeah?
Okay.
And I remember she took me. She bought for me lunch. She gave me even transport and ensured I've gone back home.
Yeah, so you are
Yeah.
telling us what was the cause of all this?
The cause was stress because one,
Mm-hmm.
you do not have your mom already is undergoing a lot of stress because she has young children, she has you, she has a husband whom she has separated from, and she doesn't have work.
Okay.
Yeah, so she wouldn't get to know whether I went to school or didn't because I will carry home clothes. Yeah, the moment I'm in the train, I change. I'm in civilian clothes.
Oh,
Yeah, so
okay.
this news got to her when someone she knows met me in town. Yeah, and brought me home. So that's when it became known, and they took me back to school. I thought I would be punished, but luck was was on my side because they facilitated me to go back to school, and interestingly, I also performed well. Yeah, and I got and I did my KCPE. That was in class 7.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, so when your mom and dad separated you, all of you went to live with your mother.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And that's why I'm telling you, part of my story has seen what alcoholism can do to families.
Okay.
Yeah, because my education was facilitated by the Catholic. Yeah, I had a nun who facilitated my education. Yeah, because if it were left up to my parents, I don't know if it would have happened. Yeah, here you have a mom who is not working. You have a dad who has lost his job, a senior position, and he's not on his way back to reform.
Okay.
Yeah, so in that particular case, I found myself growing up as a child of a single parent. Though we had a good relationship with my dad, when he's sober, he's a very good man.
Okay.
Yeah, trouble begins when he gets drunk.
Oh.
Yeah. Yes.
Wow, that means you have gone through a lot to be where you are today.
Yeah.
But we thank God for the process. Huh?
True.
Yeah, so right now you've already finished your KCPE, now you're in high school. High school life how was it?
High school life was also very interesting because we had periods where my parents would come back together, and then due to the same behaviors and challenges, they would separate. It happened, if I can recall, maybe 6 or 7 times. Yeah, to the point where by the time they were really separating for good, it was so bad that already I've become a more mature child. Yeah, so I would confront my dad, of which he would retaliate. Yeah, to the point that we couldn't live in the same house. If he came drunk, yeah, it will be all chaos. So we just had to separate.
Okay.
Yeah, so I remember even in my high school years, my biggest challenge was absenteeism. Yeah, I will miss 2 weeks back to school a week, miss 3 days back to school. Yeah, I never went to school with the same locker from Form 1 to Form 4.
Yeah, so what was causing you to be absent in school?
When my dad will come home drunk, yeah, it's either we fight and all that domestic violence and chaos. So
Yeah.
I will end up not sleeping at home and go sick to sleep at a friend's or at a family, yeah. And there's no, because I was in a day school, yeah, so there was no way I didn't sleep at home, come at home in the morning, change, go to school. So that will cause much of it. And then again, the desire even to continue studying is also lost. You understand that children are supposed to be guided in a certain direction. Yeah, so you can't leave that responsibility solely to the child to decide whether they'll go to school or they won't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. And then, but finally you managed to finish, huh?
Yes, I managed to finish. And after finishing, yes, so I would work.
Yeah.
Even in high school, and I will help support my family. So essentially I had some sort of being autonomous, where my mom didn't really mind where I am at a given time, because I grew up as a very responsible child.
Okay.
Yeah, understanding that you are the firstborn of young kids.
Yeah.
You are helping to support your family.
Yeah.
Yeah, so after high school, I sort of got into this company that started introducing me to alcoholism.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before we come to that alcoholism, yeah, what can you tell someone out there? Maybe they have been brought up in such a dysfunctional family. Maybe they are going through the same thing you are going through. They are a child there, they are affected mother, and those chaos, you understand? What can you tell that person?
One, I'd love to really encourage them and remind them that it's only for a period. Yeah, you're only a child for say 18 years. Yeah, and it will come a time that you'll be responsible for your own self. So I'd love to encourage them to stay strong.
Yes.
Yeah, to continue observing the values that will hold them together. Yeah, it's never easy for a child to endure such things. Yeah, they haven't even developed the capacity to go through such amount of stress. Nonetheless, I'd love to encourage them to remain strong and to ensure that they are building those values that when they grow up and they become of age, they won't repeat the same mistakes they are seeing from their seniors.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, because I know right now in the society there is a lot of family divorces are so high, by the way. So children are being brought up in such a way that anyway you are like, I would not like to be this and this.
Yes.
But I believe here we are, you and me, we are going to change the society slowly by slowly.
True.
Yeah. So right now, tell us now the alcoholism part of it.
Yes. So after high school, there is this thing we call a Form 4 Leavers Bash. That was my first time to take alcohol.
Okay.
Yeah. And I really loved the experience. Yeah. Interesting. I enjoyed the experience.
You enjoyed, okay.
Because at that age you have never felt that way. Yeah, you're not worried. Yeah. So with even drugs and addiction, the very first moments, they are very enticing because you feel feelings that you haven't felt before. And the addiction comes because you want to feel the same way you felt. So you find that you become dependent on whatever you are using or abusing, for that matter. Yeah. So after the Form 4 Leavers Bash, it started maybe after 2 weeks. We would organize, say, like a party, you drink.
Okay.
Yeah. And those period became smaller and smaller and smaller to the point where it became a daily thing. Yeah. From once from once in a blue moon to a daily blue moon.
Hey,
If there's something of that kind. Yes. And you see, as a young person, you do not have much responsibility. I don't have a family. I anything I make, it belongs to me, no matter how small, because at that time I was working in the slaughterhouse. Where I grew up, there is the Dagoretti slaughterhouse.
Okay.
Yeah. And so how work happens there, you'll find that you start working from early morning, say like 3, and at times by 9 a.m. in the morning, you have done everything for that day. So you have all this other time to use, and there's nothing you have to do. You have already made something small for the day. Yeah. So what you will do, you will get into a wines and spirit and start getting filled.
Wow. Okay, and
Yeah.
that continued for how long now?
So that continued for say about 3.5 years to 4 years. Yeah. And I will say this: if you are a young person, get to see the things that hold back your family, yeah, and try to see how you could break away from them, yeah. Otherwise, it will be a pattern that you will carry from those who are before you, and then you'll pass it to those who are to come, yeah. So for me, in this case, was alcoholism. I've seen uncles having their lives ruined, yeah, separation, divorces, loss of job, loss of property, to the point where you become almost nothing, because you don't have even a place to call home. It becomes so bad. Yeah. So for me, it was a challenging one, until the people that we were drinking with, we couldn't drink with them anymore, because they will tell me I drink heavily. Yeah.
Okay. Yani ukakuwa wewe ni yule mzito sasa.
Naitwa Gazla.
Hey, okay.
Oh, no. Yeah. I even joke with my friends. Yeah, tell them I will stop drinking the moment I couldn't hold the glass and and bring it to my mouth. Yeah. And as you can see, that's a very sorry state. Yeah. And this is a young person. They are supposed to be building skills. They're supposed to be developing themselves, seeing which career path to choose, where the trajectory of their life should go. Yeah.
And so, was there no one to tell you this is bad, this is, or because now your parents, whatever, you are just your own boss?
Not really. You see, there's no alcoholic that doesn't have a family. Yeah, actually, there are a lot of people that encourage them out of it. Yeah. So even us ourselves, as we drink, we will tell each other, I need to reduce the way I drink. Yeah. So it's not out of ignorance per se, but the moment it becomes an addiction, it becomes a challenge.
Okay.
Yeah, it becomes a challenge, because getting out of it, it's not as easy as you got into it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So I remember in my period now, as I started my journey to break away from this habit. Once my mom would realize that I was drunk the previous night, I never approached her when I was drunk, because it would pain her. Yeah. And there was this day where she gave me a speech that I'll never forget. Yeah.
Okay.
And she told me, Moshai, if you continue this way, I'll disown you and I'll count as if I never had a son. And she will say this in tears. Yeah. And it would break my heart. Yeah, it really broke my heart, because this is the person whom you want to make proud first in the world, and now she's in tears because of what you're doing.
Okay.
Yeah. So from those periods, she will pray a lot for me. She will ask people to counsel me, senior people in the society. Yeah. So nobody, I want to argue that nobody goes astray without having people who have advised them. Yeah. Most of the time, life is not ruined in a single day. Yeah. You do not become an alcoholic in a single day. It's a habit that is sustained. It's a habit that has been going on for a period, to the point that it becomes a lifestyle, and changing that, it becomes a challenge. So I remember there's a prayer center where I used to live. Yeah, it's called the Resurrection Gardens. I remember because my mom is a prayerful woman, she would go there to pray.
Yeah.
Even for me. So I started going there by myself. But at that time, I didn't know how to pray. Interestingly, I didn't even believe in Jesus. I believed in the first 5 books of the Bible.
Okay.
Yeah, but that urge was there.
That
Yeah,
urge was
that
there.
urge to change my life, to turn around, to become different. That urge was always there.
Yeah. So when did this urge start?
It started once my alcoholism became so bad that I wouldn't stay without drinking. I would rather drink alcohol in the morning than tea. I wouldn't take tea. I wouldn't eat.
Okay.
Yeah, it was that bad. Yeah, so my whole system would only function nikitoa lock. Yeah, after kutoa lock. So it is a sorry state. You know, your consciousness will always guide you on whether you are doing the right thing or wrong,
Okay.
whether you have been told by someone or not. Yeah, there's that inner instinct that tells you this must go, this needs to change.
Okay.
Yeah. So from that urge, I didn't know how to quit. Yeah, you know, quitting alcohol, in as much as it's a decision, yes.
Yes.
I'd love to believe it's also a hold. Yeah, it's also a hold that holds you, holds your mindset, holds your inner man to the point that in as much as you want to quit, you can't. So there was this period that I would even go buy alcohol. The urge comes so heavily. Yeah, I've decided I won't drink for 3 months. Let me see if I can be able. But 2 weeks down, the urge is so heavy and you can't even resist. You become so restless.
Okay.
You can't do anything to enjoy it. Your system is only asking for alcohol, and you can see that that thing it can be very strong.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, breaking away. Yeah, there are periods that we will go on a drinking spree whereby you start drinking on a Thursday, like the most the drinking spree that I remember most recent one. We drank for 5 days, heavy drinking, no going home. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, that that was the period I got into fully into Mshwari. Yeah, and I took, I think, a loan of 12,000,
Alone.
which was all spent in alcohol. Yeah, nakula nyama na pombe, nyama na pombe, nyama na pombe. You don't go home.
Yeah.
I remember now when the money was depleted, I remember asking my friend, when is today? Yeah, you have lost even count of days. You don't know how long you have been drunk since 5 days.
Yeah, it is not.
It's a long period when you're spending all your time in the club, switching from this one to another one to another one to another one. Yeah, you can't even recall where you lost your phone at. Yeah, so it would seem to someone who doesn't know how it feels like that's something enjoyable.
Yeah.
But it isn't.
It isn't. Sure,
Yeah, but it isn't.
Yeah, so finally, how did you manage now to quit? And you are like, wow, this one I have to quit. And tell us now the process of quitting.
How it happened, I have a man who I hold very highly. Yeah, he's called Dan Mugera. He's a mentor. He's my mentor actually. Yeah. So how I came to connect with him, once I attended a conference where he was a speaker, and he really inspired that audience, and I was inspired. So this particular evening I was very drunk but very sober at the same time. I don't know if you understand what I mean. And these are periods where haulewi, yeah, you drink but you can't really get drunk because your conscience is disturbed, he's so much alive. Yeah. So I remember I cried a lot and I wondered how can I change my life? I don't want to live this way. This is not the way things are supposed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that same night, that was around like 2, I searched his company online. I filled in a form and a contact form, that is. And the following day he called me. I told him a bit about my story and I told him I'd love just to meet him. I went and saw him, yeah, and he agreed to take me in. He didn't ask anything from me, yeah. And this is one thing I also want to tell young people is that if you are to build relationships, you build your relationships on the value you bring. Because that man, one thing he asked me is, what can you do for me? Yeah, and I had some background in IT, and I told him I can maintain your database. I can do anything that is computer related, and he took me in. Yeah, so from there, that's when my transformation started. Yeah, you see, when you're in a pit, you can't get yourself out. You need someone who will hold you out of it, and you must be willing and committed that things must change, and I want to change. Yeah, so I worked under him from 2017, late 2017 to 2020. Yeah, and that is the point where my life transformed. Yeah, he connected me with people who are web developers. I learned how to develop websites. He gave me a platform, a laptop. I taught myself how to manage websites, how to design.
Okay.
Yeah. And also at the same time, I will also train in public speaking, because I felt I would feel the call to speak to people. That urge was within me.
Yeah.
That's the reason why I connected with him.
Yeah. Now there's something you have not told us. Now when you met that person, did you just transform automatically that you have met him, or we want to get the whole story so that someone out there who is in the same can know how to approach it, and so that many can be able to quit the same.
Yeah, transformation is not a day's thing.
Yes.
That for sure. Yeah. And I can't say I just slid out of alcoholism. Yeah, it took the intervention of a mentor, the intervention of my parents, the intervention of God himself. Yeah. So even as I was under him, I would sometimes sneak, go drink, or maybe get invited to a party. You drink, but I remember it would always disturb me. The following day would be, as people are experiencing hangovers, I was experiencing guilt.
Okay.
Yeah, I was experiencing guilt because I know where I've come from. I've seen the damages that are brought by this habit, yet
you are still
I'm still perpetrating it. So guilt would hold me so strongly.
Okay.
Yeah, but he knew, he was patient enough. Yeah, and he became the father that I needed. Yeah, and the father figure I needed in my life. The man who transformed most of my life. Yeah.
Okay.
So it wasn't a one-day thing. It takes time. Yeah. You just can't quit. It happens, but not very so often. Yeah.
Okay.
You reduce it to the point that you no longer need it in your life.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, so it was a process that took some time, and it also took your commitment and persistence.
Yes. And something also I'd love to mention is, for me, I remember I would even fast about alcohol. Yeah, I will fast and tell God, today I'm fasting not for anything I need, but for something I don't need in my life.
Okay.
Yeah, and I know God is faithful. He did it for me, and even to anyone who is having this hold, of alcoholism, just know if you are committed to do it, you can get out of it, and
Yeah.
you don't have to live a life of misery. You don't have to live a life of alcoholism, of purposelessness. Yeah, your time on earth is limited and your days are numbered. Yeah, so spend your time wisely.
Wisely.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, so about your salvation, now you got born again and you are still drinking alcohol, or how was it?
Um, for me, the concept of born again,
Mm.
I take it as a journey up to this day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, whereby you're still in the flesh. Your fleshly desires are there, and sometimes we fall. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and you might agree with me on that. Yeah, so
Yes.
um, I will drink once in a while, in as much as I I, I was saved. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but there's that grace that God gives that enables you to change something, so long as you want that change and you're committed to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so one thing about my salvation is it wasn't an altar call whereby a preacher asked for people to come forward, but
Yes.
for me,
Mm.
as I had mentioned to you, I had a prayer center I used to go. I would go there, I read the Bible. Yeah, I've actually read the Bible cover to cover 3 times so far now. Yeah.
Okay.
So I committed myself to the Word of God. Yeah. I committed myself to to prayer
Yeah.
and to decisively
Mm-hmm.
changing and turning my life around.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow. So, what can you tell someone out there who is born again and
Mm-hmm.
maybe they are struggling with something which not maybe not alcohol because it can be something else?
True.
Yeah. What is your advice to them?
Mm.
Mm.
One, I'd love to tell them that salvation is not about being perfect. Yeah, it's more of about being the best version of yourself, and this best version we liken ourselves to Christ. Yeah, so every day you are endeavoring to become like Christ. Yeah, and this involves inquiring things in your lives that are not prescribed in the Bible, things that you must let go, and changing your habits. Yeah. So if you are having this particular hold, pray about it. And also, there is a place of confession. You need to speak it out to someone, because anything that is hidden will be stronger than when it's out there. So find someone who you can speak to, whom you can talk to, yeah,
Yeah.
and whom can guide you in the right direction.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, that's so interesting because maybe there is someone out there who is struggling with something, and so you don't have to give up. Keep on trusting on God, and His grace is sufficient. He will help you. If He has helped Evans, then be sure you are the next. Eh?
True.
Yeah, so let us now come back to your public speaking. Tell us now
Okay.
how public speaking coach. Yeah, how you started, what inspired you.
Yes, yes, yes.
Mm.
Um, for public speaking, as I told you, I was under Dan Mugera,
Yes.
and he's a public speaking coach.
Mm-hmm.
He's the founder and he's the man who runs the African Center for Public Speaking.
Okay.
And in there, I saw men come under him, men who weren't confident in themselves, women who needed to refine their communication skills. And you know, communication is the backbone of influence.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you need to be able to pass out a message to show people value. Yeah, in as much as you could be very gifted. So I saw that. Yeah, and within that, I attended a number of classes. Yeah, ideally people attend a single class and they are out, but
Yeah.
I, by virtue of working there, I would attend many classes. Yeah, and he trained me. He also showed me, gave me a platform to train kids in public speaking.
Okay.
Yeah, so by the time I was leaving that center, I was refined in matters public speaking.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, and so when did you know that now I really want to venture into this one? This is my area.
Interestingly, when I went to Dan Mugera for the very, very first time, that is what I was going for.
Okay.
Yeah, I felt the need to develop my communication skills. I knew I was born a speaker.
Wow.
Yeah,
Hey,
I
that's so
knew
powerful.
it. Yeah, so it was within me, but any gift or any talent that you may have will need refining, will need you to build knowledge,
Yeah,
will
yeah.
need you to be in an environment that refines it.
Yeah.
And so that was the platform for me. So by the time I was going to Dan, I knew I wanted to build my ability to speak. But as I was going there, I was to do more of speaking, keynote speaking, but the passion for public speaking came in as well.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow, that is so good of you. And now tell us now anything else now you do apart from that public speaking?
Yes. I run the personal and corporate development company together with my colleague Charles Musilanga. Though at the time of this recording, he's in the US. So at the center, I'm the lead coach. And we are a number of coaches. We train people in communication, we train people in leadership, and we also do team building.
Yeah.
Other than that, I am the founder and CEO of Prescient Design Studio. It's a marketing agency. So we do everything to do with marketing, but digitally.
Okay.
Yeah, so we do social media management, we do printing, we do branding,
Yeah.
we do graphic design and websites.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, so tell us, how are you able to balance all those things at the same time? Because there is, young people, we are so energized. You find someone is out here, there, and maybe there is someone watching us who wants maybe to run a company, to do something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number one, I want to tell people that anything substantial, you can't do it alone. Yeah. And so the number one thing is to build a team. Yeah, to build a team. Whereby when I'm taking care of one matter, like right now we are in Mombasa, there's someone who is doing something else in Nairobi. Yeah. So the number one thing you need to do is develop a team, bring together a team. You might not necessarily work together 24/7, but have reliable people whom you can delegate to, people whom can take care of other matters. Yeah. So for me, what enables me to do a number of things at a go is having people whom we share the same vision, we share the same energy, and we have the same goal. So that enables me to work on a number of things at a go.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, that is so impressive. Keep on keeping on, eh?
Thank you.
Yeah, and now there is, what is your advice to young people who would like maybe to start something or to embrace maybe their career, their talent, their gift, and they don't know where to start? Yes, what can you tell that person?
For me, I would say part of my transformation has also happened because I have read a number of books. Yeah. Though it's a habit, I look forward to strengthening in as much as it's there. So there's this particular book by Robert Greene. It is called Mastery. Yeah. So I would say this is one of my favorite books in terms of knowing what you want to do with your life. Yeah. So one I'll tell young people is identify something that you're passionate about. Yeah.
Wow.
Something that you enjoy doing. Yeah. Ask yourself, if I was to do something and not get paid, yeah, and feel fulfilled, what would that thing be? Yeah. And so for me, I got to choose my passions. And then after that, you need to identify people who are good at what you're doing. Yeah, people who are good at what you're doing, to draw inspiration. And better yet, if you are able to connect with such people, it will be even better. Yeah, because at any time, whenever you're starting at anything, just know you will be bad at it. Yeah, there's no way you can be good at something you're starting today.
Yeah.
So you need to be in an environment where, or you need to be connected with people who are at least better than you or ahead of you. Yeah, and these are the people you draw inspiration from. These are the people who guide you and mentor you and mold you. They could be direct, they could be far off. Yeah, but that also helps you. Yeah, so the last thing I want to do to tell people is seek how you can build other skills related to whatever you want to do. Yeah, I was telling a friend that success is more often brought by the ability to do a number of things and be good at them.
Yeah.
Not only say are you a journalist, but you find that you can also do video editing.
Yeah.
You can also do graphic design.
Yeah.
You are well versed with communicating with people and connecting with people. So don't just focus on building one skill at a go. But seek to also develop yourself as a person. Seek also to develop other areas of your life that will bring all this together.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much. And finally, you can tell our audience where they can find you in case they need to be coached also to gain more confidence.
Yes.
Yeah, tell us your social media handles.
Yes, personal company.
The ones you feel free.
Yes. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn. All my channels, I'm Evanson Mushai. Yeah. And so physically, we are located in Kilimani, a building called FCB Mirab. And in Mombasa, we are at Imara building. Yes.
Wow. Thank you so much, Evanson. We are so glad to have had you here. I know you have inspired many by your story.
Yes.
And I believe they will be transformed.
True.
Personally, I've learned a lot and thank you so much.
You're most welcome.
Yes. So to our audience, thank you so much for watching this video to the end. We are Kenya Young Journalists and I'm Lynn Nyawera. Go ahead and subscribe to our channel and don't forget to follow Evanson Mushai on his social media platforms. Thank you so much for watching this video to the end. Don't forget to like, to comment and to share. So if you have not subscribed to our channel, also do so, and I believe you're going to learn, you're going to be inspired. My name is Lynn Nyawera. Thank you so much and bye-bye. See you on the next video.